There's a lot of teams around college football that I don't 100% know what to do with just yet. We'll have our prediction show next Tuesday, so lock in for that. Another reason to be subscribed. But I just look across the country, and I'm like, man, I could see this team contending for a playoff spot, contending for 9 wins, or I could see them fighting to be a 7-win team when we look up in the month of November. So without further ado, the most volatile teams in college football in 2025. To me, one of the first-round picks in this discussion is Auburn. Like, well, the real Auburn offense that you signed up for when Hugh Freeze got hired as your head coach, please stand up. I think if you're an Auburn fan, you're begging for that to happen because we've revisited this stat ad nauseum throughout the course of this offseason. Top 30 in yards per play, didn't score over 30 points a game. Those things don't add up. So if Jackson Arnold plugs into this system and does what you brought him there to do, which is freaking sling the ball around and get the ball to your first-round NFL draft picks and Cam Coleman, Eric Singleton, the list goes on in terms of talent wide receiver, then you could be cooking. Then you're the one applying pressure. Then y'all are the one having a good time on Saturday afternoons talking about your big win. And maybe you're having a conversation where Auburn's pushing to win 9 games. If you're at 9 wins, I mean, is it unreasonable to say you could flirt with 10? I'm just saying. That's where you talk about like what you could accomplish. You also have this discussion around, well, if it's a situation where Jackson Arnold has turnover issues like he had turnover issues at Oklahoma, it could be in a situation where you're fighting to make a bowl game like you were a year ago, like you have been since Hugh Freeze has gotten there. And I like Hugh Freeze. I like Auburn, but just an extremely volatile unit out there on the plains. Let's stay in that state, Alabama. Now, I love Alabama. I think they have a higher floor than Auburn, if we're just going to keep it a buck. Roster's attractive, man. The roster's beautiful. I mean, I was talking about this the other day, but I had 4 Alabama defensive backs on my preseason all-SEC ballot at Media Days. And I kind of forgot they were all on the same team. I'm like, wait a second. Like, I knew Damani Jackson and Xavier Brown, cool. But, like, wait, Bray Hubbard, he's there. Keon Saab, he's there. Like, I don't know if they'll all be first team, but that's just one position group. Plus the wide receiver room. Plus the offensive line. Plus, like, the defense and their potential to take another step under Kane Womack. Like, there's a lot to like there. But, dude, I have no idea what's up at quarterback. Neither do you. I mean, Ty Simpson, according to the staff, would start if they played a game tomorrow, but they don't play a game tomorrow. He's telling us to win the job in fall camp. Keelan Russell, 5 stars next to your name is a good look. Still a true freshman. Austin Mack, I've been first team all Austin Mack stand since this whole thing got rolling. I love the fact that he's been in Ryan Grubb's system, but you hear mixed reviews and mixed results from him behind closed doors during spring ball, at least in Tuscaloosa. So when I kind of land the plane on how I feel about Alabama, they probably should be a playoff team outside of what they have at the quarterback position. But again, we don't know what they're going to get at the quarterback position because last year you had Jalen Milroe looking like a Heisman Trophy winner in the first half against Georgia and then looking lost against Oklahoma, looking lost against Michigan. If you don't have a guy at quarterback, I say guy in like the colloquial sense, like a true guy, a true dude, a plus at quarterback, then Alabama's not going to make the playoff. It'll be a rerun of last year where you're competitive and you probably have some nice wins on your resume and maybe you're flirting with the playoff in November, but you're not going to make the playoff if you don't have a true plus at quarterback. I like the roster, don't know about quarterback. It's like when you find the one, but you've never met her family yet. That's a big part of this. You marry the family as well as the spouse. So, like, Bama, we'll see. Very, very volatile. Could be a playoff team, could be a situation where we are having a more uncomfortable conversation around Kalen DeBoer in Tuscaloosa this time next year. How about SMU? I love Rhett Lashley. Program guy, Rhett Lashley, okay? Walked in the ACC, took that thing over his first year there, made the conference title their first season in the conference, but when you go back over what last year was for SMU, a lot of nail-biting games. Right, a lot of games you're down to the nub of the finger there. 3-1 in one-score games in the regular season last year. Now, Kevin Jennings could be him, and we just hit a rerun and we go back to the ACC title game. We're talking about SMU being a not just one-time but two-time college football playoff team in the 12-team format. But when you look at this slate, it's going to be, I think, a tougher task than what last year was. You play Baylor early, you're at TCU, at Clemson, you play Miami, and you play Louisville. Like, okay, is that what does you in? Or do you just say, no, we're still up and to the right like we have been every year over the last 2 years under Rhett Lashley? Remains to be seen. Now, North Carolina, shout out to Cato on this one. We were game planning for this segment. He nailed this on the head. North Carolina is extremely volatile here in 2025. It wouldn't be shocking if Bill Belichick walks in their first year in Chapel Hill and says, I was doing this at the NFL level, winning Super Bowls, mind you. I got too many rings for one hand when it comes to what I did at the professional level. College, child's play. Child's play for me, Bill Belichick. Or we could sit here in the month of November after North Carolina just looks less than professional, to keep it in the vein of what Bill Belichick has done over the course of his career with the Patriots, and say, man, we probably should have seen this coming. I got insert girlfriend joke here. It was going from professional to college. That's a very, very different kind of communication style you have to have when it comes to dealing with guys that are making a lot of money and have a family to take care of, or talking to guys that are still teenagers, still making a lot of money, but it's a very different kind of, I think, communication style that you have to have. The schedule is pretty workable. Like, you open with TCU as a non-conference game. You get Clemson at home, but like no Miami, no SMU, no Louisville. The equation is there, but I don't think it would also be that shocking if the Chapel Hill experience went south quick, fast, in a hurry. Very, very volatile. Florida is a team that we're going to give you their record prediction later on in the show. I think there's kind of two seasons that happened last year for the Gators. You had what happened at the end of the year when DJ Lagway gets the keys, and you're beating LSU, you're ending Ole Miss's playoff dreams, and vibes are immaculate in the swamp, and you're looking at next year saying, okay, now here we go. This is the team we signed up for Billy Napier. There's also, I think, some attention that should be paid to how they started the year. Now, I understand changing the quarterback position is a massive part of this, and you now have a dude that won those games for you, starting the season for you, so I understand the logic there. But I also think it's irresponsible to just totally assume that it's going to be a copy-paste from the end of last year to the beginning of this upcoming season and all the way throughout the rest of the schedule. I'd like to see that happen. I root for Billy Napier. I root for DJ Lagway, but I don't think it's just a open and shut case of, okay, well, Florida's arrived. They're a college football playoff team. Their ceiling is a college football playoff team. Their floor with that schedule and some unknowns around DJ Lagway's health as we sit here right now in the month of July, like Florida could be a team that struggles to make a bowl game with how rigorous that schedule is. Now, I'm not going to predict that, but I want us all on the same page. Florida, a ton of volatility. Playoff team, struggling to make a bowl. That's, I think, how that whole thing shakes out right now. Now, the Big 12, we don't have a specific team here. The Big 12 is one of the most volatile characters in the entire 2025 season. There's nothing that should surprise us that could happen this year in the Big 12. Nothing. Like, the reason why, they all recruit kind of the same caliber of player. And when you look at what last year was, the team that was picked to finish the year at the bottom of the Big 12 won the freaking conference. All right? I mean, this is a conference so volatile that the powers that be that were in charge of the preseason media poll just said, you know what? There's no point in even doing this anymore. Whether it's to save face for ourselves, we don't want to look dumb 2 years in a row, or we just don't know what's going to happen, which I think it could be a combination of both. So, therefore, we're not even doing a preseason media poll. You know how volatile you have to be to just say, forget it, we're not even going to try and predict it? Tells us a lot. Other thing I want to say here, a team that missed a bowl game last year and won 5 games in Utah shouldn't surprise anybody if they win the conference with Kyle Whittingham and co out there. So there's a lot of volatility across the board from Auburn to Alabama, SMU, North Carolina, Florida in the Big 12. It's going to be an awesome year. I think this is the most wide open college football has ever been, and these volatile teams are a big reason as to why that is, in my humble opinion. All right.